Enchanted Peeps. It's been a little while, I know, but I am back and I am participating in the Lenormand challenge, which, if you don't know, is about Lenormand cards, and it was started by The Truth in Story. So if you want to check out her channel, please do, because she's been doing a great job. There's a question every day about Lenormand cards, and it's already the 15th. We're already halfway through the month, and I've been meaning to do it. So I think I'm going to do like 6 today and then maybe 6 more tomorrow and get kind of caught up. So anyway, the first question of the week is, or of the first question, blah, from the 1st of March was just to do a opening reading about, you know, how this is going to go maybe, or just see what you're going to learn. So I'm going to do a little reading. I'm going to pull 3 cards just saying, how is this Lenormand challenge going to go for me? What am I going to learn? So I've got the classic Lenormand here. Just quickly shuffling. Okay. All right. Alrighty, let's see what 3 we get. And I have mountain, fish, and mice. So what I'm getting from this is that at first there's going to be an obstacle, well, there has been an obstacle to the flow of things. Fish often means money, but I see this as an obstacle to the flow of things, which would be, you know, probably me starting halfway through the month. And then there's mice as well. So I have to be careful that little things aren't going to eat away at me making these videos. So basically I have to stay on task is what I'm getting from these 3 cards here. So there you go. Very quick. Just doing very quick reading. So the second question was, how did you find out about Lenormand cards? I actually found out about them before I even knew that's what they were called. Years ago, probably at least 5 years ago, I picked up, I think it's called Titania's Oracle, and it had the it was a book that came with the cards inside the cover, and then there was a book with it, and it had the 36 cards, but I didn't really quite get it at the time. I mean, they were, you know, it had a little bit of history in there about how you know, they were attributed to the psychic Madame Lenormand, even though they weren't actually the cards she used, and how she, you know, had predicted things for Napoleon and Josephine. And then these cards came along later and were named after her. And they also had the cards in there with their meanings, but I never quite put it together how, because I've been reading tarot for years, and reading Lenormand and tarot is quite different. So I didn't quite put it together. And I ended up giving those away, and then years later a friend of mine gave me the Romany fortune cards, which are Kipper cards, but very closely related to Lenormand. And again, I didn't quite get it. And then I would say it was about a year and a half ago, I saw on Tarot Tribe Beyond Words, which is a channel that isn't active anymore, but it's still up, and it's really great for learning tarot and Lenormand. These Lenormand videos, and she described it so well, and I was like, this is really interesting. And then on Amazon, you know, when you order books and stuff, it says people who bought these also bought this. The Gilded Lenormand kept coming up, and I said, you know what, something about this is calling me. So I picked it up. This deck sits in my purse all the time. This is my like go-to Lenormand, and I just love this. And it comes with like not a very good book in here. I mean, it's okay as a little white book, but it's not great. It's just your typical little white book. So I wanted something better, and at that time also Amazon said, you might like these books. And so I got some books and things, started to learn, and then I started to incorporate it as I got more comfortable in my professional readings along with tarot. And so that's how I found about Lenormand. And also Kelly from The Truth in Story has been doing a lot of really great videos about Lenormand as well. So it seems like the interest in it has picked up, and there's more awareness, and people are talking about it more. So that's how I got into Lenormand. The third question was, what books do you have? So that leads me to the first book that I picked up when I was really getting serious about Lenormand and watching videos and things was The Essential Lenormand by Rana George. This is a great book. She talks about her story in here, which is amazing, how she survived the war in Lebanon and came to the U.S., and how, you know, these cards really helped her and helped her family, and how she's helped people with them. She's got a nice chapter for each card that explains the card, talks about the different meaning in different situations, and then she kind of tells a story about the card, like a reading that really involved the card. So they're quite lengthy. She gives a lot of variations, also combinations, because you're always reading in combination with Lenormand. They're never by themselves. They're always in combination. So she has quite a big, extensive part about that. And then the last part, the third part, is learning how to put it together. So she's got like 3-card spreads and 9-card spreads, and then how to do the grand tableau. So very, very good book for beginners. Quite thorough. I do like this book. The second book I picked up was The Complete Lenormand Oracle Handbook, which is another book I quite recommend. Very good as well. This one doesn't have as much on each card, but it has quite a bit about how to put them together, like how to do 6-card readings and 3 cards, and then it goes into the playing card inserts, the grand tableau, how to do it. It's just a very thorough compendium, so I would recommend both these books, quite frankly. The other book I had, I picked this up because I more wanted the Lenormand cards in there, but the book I would say is pretty good too is the Easy Lenormand set by Llewellyn Books. So that's what my classic Lenormand came in, and it comes with a nice book like this. You know, this is a pretty good like beginner's kind of book. It has a little thing for each card, a little thing about putting together like, you know, the grand tableau and 9-card readings. So it's a little, I would say it's a little less thorough obviously than the other 2 books, but it's still a good place to start if you're looking to start Lenormand. So I do recommend those. So those are the 3 books I had. There's not, I would say, a ton of books out there, but I would look at besides Kelly's Truth and Story, which has a lot of Lenormand sort of that she talks about. I would look at her if you're interested in learning, and also Tarot Tribes Beyond Tarot Tribe Beyond Worlds. Sorry. I would look at hers as well if you're looking to learn Lenormand as far as YouTube channels. So those are some good resources there. Now, I don't have a ton of Lenormand decks. I have the classic Lenormand that came with the Easy Lenormand set. That is what it looks like there. It's kind of your more old-fashioned kind of pictures, more 19th century type. This one is the one I use a lot with clients. I like these cards because they're quite small, and so I can lay them over tarot cards. And I think I'll do a whole video. Somebody had asked me to do a video to show how I do that. Like I actually combine the 2. I know some people say don't, but I do it and it completely works for me. This is the one that's always in my purse. This one I use for me. This is the Gilded Lenormand by, I can never pronounce his name quite, Ciro Marchetti. I think that's how it's pronounced. You know, I'm not a fan of his other, his tarot or his oracle, but I love this Lenormand. Like, I just find the colors are just juicy and it's beautiful. So this is another favorite of mine. That's a snake there. There we go. It's a little bit bigger than the other one, but I still like this size, and I really like the cardstock on this one. It's quite thick. So I dropped a card. There we go. I can't just leave it on the floor. So there's one more deck I have, which leads me into question number 5, which is what makes like a not a good deck for you, and that's the Fairy Lenormand. It's very pretty, but it's very busy, and you want Lenormand to be straightforward. The book that comes with it is fairly nice. This is a low Scarabeo deck, but pretty chunky, and the English part is fairly thick, but these cards are just too big. They're just too big. Lenormands need to be small, especially for grand tableau, because you would need a giant table. You'd have to lay these out on the floor to be able to do a grand tableau with all 36 cards. Again, very pretty. Look at those mice, and they've got the card insert, but some of them you're not sure what it is. This is a child. I'm trying to find one. The Whip and the Broom. There's 2 fairies here, and you almost miss in the brown the Whip and the Broom. Not good. The coffin's beautiful. This is a beautiful coffin, I have to say. Yeah, there's just this one is clouds, but I see a mountain, and so I get mixed up and I think mountain. So this to me is what does make a deck. Makes a poor Lenormand deck is unclear what it is, and also giant cards. That's what I have to say about that. Now, Number 6. What's number 6? Oh, what's on your Lenormand wish list? Yes. I have on my wish list the Celtic Lenormand, which has some extra cards, but I feel like I could totally work that in. I have no problem with that. So I'm have that on my list, and I also have the Mystical Lenormand. I saw it on the Truth and Story. She showed it, and I was like, yes, I want that, because it's got a very medievally kind of look to it, and I quite like that style, so I think I'm going to go for that. That's for sure. So this is my first 6 questions. I'm going to go through, I think, tomorrow and go through the first 12 cards in the deck and tell you about them and combining them. And that's what I have. So if you have Lenormand or are interested in any videos about it, please put in the comments below, like to subscribe, and I will see you all next time. Bye!